Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena svayaṁ Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagvad Gite bhavatveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 10th adhyaya of Vibhuti Yoga, and now Arjuna is telling something to Sri Krishna. Arjuna just summarized all the qualities of the great Lord that he has heard so far. He has listened to all those wonderful qualities of the Lord, and after having heard from Sri Krishna about the divine manifestation of the great Lord, of how the Lord has manifested himself in these diverse creatures of this creation, all those complexities, all the individual creatures, and every creature having its own set of qualities that the Lord had enlisted. And such tremendous amount of complexity and diversity in this creation. And Krishna says, I am the basis for all this. All this thing has come from me. So that is what Krishna had told about the diversity in this creation, in this divine manifestation, and how all these diverse manifold variations in the creations, in the creation, in the universe, they are all bound with one common thread. Lord is the basis of that. And then Sri Krishna told us that all those great devotees, all those great enlightened souls who know this, who love me with all the, who devote themselves to me with all the love and affection, who talk about me among themselves, who conduct satsangs, they verily come to me because I give them buddhi yoga. I give them that wonderful tool of discrimination, because of which they can identify what is real, what is unreal. And once having known what is real, they will never look upon the unreal at all. They will never, they won't even bother to think about the unreal. So that is what Sri Krishna had said. And after having listened to all these discourses of Sri Krishna, then in the last shloka that we read, the 12th shloka of this Vibhuti Yoga, Arjuna, he started talking about all those divine qualities, divine attributes of the great Lord. Arjuna had spoken about Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. You are the great Brahman, Supreme Brahman, the supreme abode, and the supreme purifier. Just by one look you can cleanse of all the sins, of all the ills, of all the evils. That is what you can do, the great purifier. And Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Deva Bhajam Vibhum. And you are the Purusha, you are the primordial Purusha, through whom the Prakriti comes forth. This Purusha who gets projected as the Prakriti, and Prakriti starts the creation because of her role as creation, preservation, destruction, and then again this whole universe, this whole whatever Prakriti brings out, it comes back to you, to that Adi Purusha. So you are that great Purusha. You are Shashvatam. You are eternal. And Divyam. You are so divine. You are filled with all that divinity which encompasses this entire creation, which encompasses everything. So you are Purusha, you are Shashvata, you are Divyam and Adi Devam. You are also the origin of the ancient most gods. Adi Devam. Even the gods and goddesses, they have sprung forth from you. They have come forth from you. You are their source. You are their origin. And Ajam, you don't have any birth at all. It is not that you get birth, then you leave and then you die. No, for you there is no birth, living and death. You are Ajam. And you are Vibhum, omnipresent. Since you are Ajam, you are omnipresent. Since you are Shashvatam, you are omnipresent. You are Vibhum. You are ever there on this time scale of eternity where there is no beginning, where there is no end. There is only one present moment. That's it. There is no beginning. There is no end on this eternal time frame. And that is how the Lord becomes omnipresent. So these are all the qualities that of the Lord that Arjuna has uttered. He has spoken of in the 12th shloka. Now in 13th shloka, what Arjuna says about these qualities that he has narrated about the great Lord. Arjuna says, āhus tvām ṛiṣhayaḥ sarve nāradas tathā devarṣhir nāradas tathā asito devalo vyāsaḥ svayaṁ chaiva bravīṣhi. Now Arjuna says, this I am not saying, my Lord, all these qualities that I have narrated in this 12th shloka. You are Parabrahma, you are Param Dhama, you are Pavitram Param Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum, all these qualities. I am not saying it. Arjuna says, āhus tvām ṛiṣhayaḥ. āhus tvām ṛiṣhayaḥ sarve. All the Rishis, all the great knowers, all the great seers, they have declared this about you. Who is, they have declared, they have proclaimed, they have broadcasted these glories of yours. All the ancient Rishis, all the ancient seers. ṛiṣhayaḥ, āhus tvām. Sarve ṛiṣhayaḥ, all the Rishis. Not one or two. All the Rishis of the yore, all the Rishis of the ancient times, they have proclaimed these divine glories about you. And who are all those Rishis? Now, Arjuna is narrating the source of his information also. Arjuna says, Deva Rishi Narada tathā. Deva Rishi Narada, the great saint, Rishi of the lords, of the gods. Deva Rishi Narada, who is next to the Lord, that great saint, that great sage, Narada, who is at par with the gods, Deva Rishi Narada. And now Arjuna also gives remaining bibliography for that matter, who have, or who the representative of all those Rishis who have spoken of about these divine qualities, these divine glories of the Lord. Who are the other Rishis? Asita, Devala, Vyasa. These three are the typical representatives of the ancient Rishis of the yore, the great learned people of the yore. Asita, Devala, Vyasa. Vyasa, of course we know, Vyasa is writing this whole Mahabharata for the sake of the devotees. What happened in the Mahabharata? Vyasa is the author. I mean, he is the transcriptor. Lord Ganesha is narrating and Vyasa is writing it down. He is taking the dictation. Now, such great personalities of the ancient times, they have spoken about these divine qualities of you. That you are Parabrahma, you are Paramdhama, you are Pavitram Param Bhavan and Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. All these qualities, Deva Rishi Narada, the great sage Asita, the great sage Devala, and what to talk about? The great sage Vyasa, they have spoken about it. Now, these are the external sources which Arjuna says I am referring to as far as narrating your divine qualities, narrating your divine attributes. But, oh Lord, svayaṁ cha eva bravīṣhi me. You yourself, you have told about all these divine glories to me. So, Arjuna has captured the essence of the teachings of these great rishis as well as the Lord. So Arjuna says, what I have told you about your divine glories is not just what these rishis have told me. I have learned from these rishis. It is not just I have learned from these great sages about your divine glories. Svayaṁ cha eva bravīṣhi me. You yourself have declared it to me in the preceding verses of the Bhagavad Gita. You have told me you are Parabrahma. You have told me you are Paramdhama. You have told me you are Param Pavitram. You are the greatest purifier. And you have also told me that you are Shashvat. You are Purusha. Now Shri Krishna told him that Purusha I am. I am Shashvata. I am Ajam. How many times Sri Krishna has told us in Bhagavad Gita? But look at the scholarliness of Arjuna. Arjuna has remembered. We can't remember. We can't remember all these properties, all these divine glories attributed by Arjuna to the Lord. We may only say, Lord, you are wonderful, you are great. But all these, like when I'm reading to you, I have to refer to what is written there. It doesn't get imprinted on the mind. This Parabrahma, Paramdhama, Pavitram Param Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adidevam, Ajam Vibhum, all these things. Arjuna has just totally grasped the essence of all these divine glories that he has heard from. He has referred to the other sages also that they have talked about this, and he has himself heard these divine glories from the Lord. What else he wants? He doesn't need any other reference books. The Lord himself has declared his divine glories, and this is what Arjuna is actually coming up with. He is frankly telling Sri Krishna, I have heard these things from you. So, all the rishis have thus acclaimed you. They have just proclaimed your glories. They have written about you. They have declared your lordliness through all these qualities. As also the Deva Rishi Narada, so also Asita, so also Devala. All these great sages, all these yogis, all these saints, all these sages, all these munis, all these rishis of the yore, they have declared about you. And finally, now you yourself, you have declared it to me. You yourself have told it to me. So, Arjuna has started understanding the divine glory of the Lord, and just to sum up whatever he has heard, he told us, he told these divine glories to Sri Krishna in the 12th Shloka, and in today's 13th Shloka that we read, he has further referred to the sources from which he has come to know about these divine glories of the Lord. Forget about the external sources of those rishis of the past, the ancient rishis. Arjuna said, you yourself have told me all these things just now in this Bhagavad Gita. So, these are all the qualities that Arjuna is contemplating all the time when he is contemplating on Sri Krishna, when he is contemplating on the great Lord. So let us also, from now onwards, let us try to contemplate on, let us try to meditate on these divine glories of the Lord that Arjuna has enumerated. Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhu. So let us meditate on this aspect, this divine aspect of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ram Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.